boy, my little bro, Charles Omenihu of the Kansas City Chiefs, active leader in playoff forced fumbles. So you get busy, but in the Super Bowl, CO, I need you to tell me, what went wrong for the team?
What went wrong? I mean, I wanted to start out by giving credit to the Eagles. I think they just came out there with a different kind of fire. You could tell up front that it almost looked like they had a point to prove. And on offense, I mean, they stayed on schedule. Their defense, made it a little bit easier for them, and they just had a great game, man. They played a great game, and that's all you really can say about that.
Let me ask you this. What was y'all's game plan? Obviously, you and I talked 2 days before the game. What was y'all's game plan going into the game to try to stop the Eagles' offense? And do you feel like you all defensively did your job?
I mean, the game plan was just to do the fundamentals right. I think that was the biggest thing that everybody's preaching. Obviously, with Saquon, you need to just tackle, be in your gap, hold your gap. With Jalen, trying to suffocate the pocket, and they're going to try and go one-on-one on the outside because they feel like their guys are one of the best in the league. And I think as a collective group, as a team, I never want to single out one side of the ball. So I think just as a collective group of the team, we just didn't do enough, because if we did, we would have won the game.
Yeah. Are we on camera? Okay. I heard that. I just want to ask you, I guess, a simpler question. The game plan you guys had, it looks like stop the run, which you did a great job of that. Nobody could do that all season, right? Looked like you was kind of doubling A.J. Brown from time to time. But how did all this collapse, though? Because, and I'm trying to not, because I'm a player, but now I'm on TV. And when you see a game, it's like, yo, what the hell happened?
Yeah. Bro,
Give me the real. Give me the real, please. I don't want that TV. I'm a player.
I know you. I've watched you several times, and I know one thing about you, bro. You're gonna ask some real questions. Like, you ain't trying to hear
respect.
Yeah, I mean, bro, this is as real as I can be, bro. Like, the Eagles, they came out in a different type of time, bro. Like, the D-line, in those type of games, bro, the D-line, O-line kind of deal, that's where the battle's going to be won. Right. Everybody has 2 weeks to prepare, so it's not going to be, you ain't going to trick nobody, you're not going to fool nobody. It's like, put your hand in the dirt and see who's going to come out there swinging. They just came out with a different type of fire.
But why? Because you told me that too in confidence. Now that you said it publicly, what was the thing that Andy Reid did or did not say, that Kelce did or did not say, that Mahomes did or did not say, that Chris Jones did or did not say in the locker room this year that they said last year? How in the biggest game of your life do the Chiefs not come out as ready to play as the Eagles?
I don't think it had anything to do with what our leaders did or did not say or anything different like that. I think throughout the week, those guys were awesome. Coach Reid was awesome preparing us. I really don't know, man. It wasn't our day, and it's not good for it to.
I want to say
It's not good for it to not be your day on the Super Bowl.
It was more of real quick. So I play with Andy Reid, right? That's one of my favorites, and I played with the Chiefs, and I know the mindset. I've been in the huddles with Kelce. I've been in huddles with Pat, right? I've been hanging out with Chris Jones, and when I look at the Eagles, I seen the Chiefs firing them. And then I look at the Chiefs, it looked like the inexperienced fire they had. It's like y'all wasn't even up for the game. On the sideline when y'all was losing, I'm used to seeing, I've been there when we was down 24 points to the Texans, and I seen Pat going crazy. I seen Travis Kelce getting the boys riled up. I seen Chris Jones in people's faces, let's go. And then when I seen y'all against the Eagles, I didn't see none of that. It was like somebody was dead on the field. It was so quiet. I want to say, where did the emotion, what happened as far as the fire and the Chiefs? The three-peat.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I honestly, bro, it was there. Guys were trying to, you know what I'm saying, encourage and tell guys yo, this is not over, Like I said, I would come on here and be just make excuses, bro. But the Eagles they came with it, bro. They came with a fire that was something that we just obviously didn't match.
So in 2 full seasons with Andy Reid, I got to play with him too for 3 years. Can you talk a little bit about what he has meant to you, 2 full seasons, to see one of the greatest coaches of all time, how he's prepared you throughout, and what all you've learned throughout your time there with Andy?
Yeah, no, Coach Reid is a Class A coach, greatest coach that I've ever been around.
Yes, sir.
I've been in my career to championship games, the NFC Championship game twice with the Niners, and but to get to the Super Bowl back-to-back years, you just can see there's a little bit of a difference, like as far as in the focus and the attention to details that he has and that he instills from the top down. Like it's no different for anybody else on that team, and he doesn't do all the screaming and all the rah-rah and all the other hype stuff. He just stays even keeled, and that goes around the whole team. And the confidence that he has in us these last 2 years has just been instilled in the group. And he just, for what he personally showed me, is that you don't need all the extra rah-rah. You just need to focus in, laser in, and execute, and do the little things better than the other team.
Yeah.
My man, the blessing about this show, dog, is it's the facility, right? So we keep it trill in the facility, right?
Yeah.
We have all been and bullied on the football field, right? You guys in that game, I got 2 questions for you. Number 1, in that game, was the Eagles more physical than you thought they were going to be? Because watching the Eagles is one thing on the football field. You're like, man, they did that to them other teams, but they're not going to do it to us. That is kind of the approach that I seen from you guys that I'm like, man, I don't think the Chiefs really knew what the Eagles were. Do you guys feel like you guys are extremely prepared for the physicality that the Eagles brought all year long?
Yeah, I mean, watching the film, you can't deny how they were moving guys out the way on offense. And I didn't really just dive into their defense. I knew the guys that they had on that side of the ball. But I would not say that we underestimated them. I wouldn't say that we didn't know that they were going to come in and try and be basically like bully ball. I just think we picked the worst time of the year to have the worst game of the year, to be honest. Like, I was in shock. I can't lie. I was in shock. Looking up at the scoreboard, and I see a 40 ball on there.
Hold on.
I was embarrassed. Yeah. I was shocked. I definitely, if we had to play the game 10 times over, I never once would have been like, they're going to put 40 on this. Like, I wouldn't have thought that. So before we even got on, I was seeing them celebrate in this right corner up here, and I just kept shaking my head because I was just in denial that it just ended like that. That's something that I just never, ever expected.
Yeah. My last question. You guys walked into the locker room, and y'all was getting beat down.
Yeah.
The best player in the world is on your team, and he's playing his worst football that he's ever played in his life. What was Andy Reid's message to you guys in the locker room at halftime, knowing that you guys was down by so many points? Your quarterback just threw a pick 6. What was the message at halftime to y'all from Andy Reid?
I mean, it was just like, we get the ball back. We get the ball first, and let's go down there and kind of use some tempo and try and go score. I was on the other side of the 24-0 comeback in 2019. I was on that Houston team. So per experience, I was like, well, I mean, this organization has been here before. So this game is not completely just out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But obviously, we didn't come out and score in the first half. I mean, beginning of the second half, and it just got worse.
When did you know the game was over? We've all been in them situations before on the sideline where it's like, you know what?
Bro.
Nah, yo. Ask that question, dog. We all been there. Because here's the thing, CO. 17 skunk, I was like, hey, they can score at the end of the second half. Yeah. They get the ball back, score at the end of the first half. They get the ball to start in the second, 17-14. Then it went 24-0. I said, okay. They've come back from 7-0. They've come back from down 24-0 before against the Texans. If they score to start the first drive in the second half, they can still come back. Then y'all didn't score to start the first drive of the second half. By the time it went to 34 skunk, I'm like, hey, it's blouses, big dog. When did you on the sideline know, you know what? I'm just playing
Was it Kenny Pickett? It was Kenny Pickett.
Hey, bro, all y'all boys crazy, bro.
But seriously,
Oh,
like,
man.
when did you like when did it hit you?
Pickett, yeah.
I think when Kenny Pickett got in the game,
Told you.
you know,
Late.
I don't know what Super Bowl you've had the backup quarterback come in the game. It just, bro. It was just bad, bro. I like.
Hey, this is a great interview because this is like real. This is real.
The fact that you're in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of them all, and the backup quarterback for the opposite team is in the game, that's just not a good feeling. But I will say this: it's a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah.
That was involved in the game. I want to say that this won't be something that will linger on in the organization. I think they'll take it in. We'll all take it in, chew it up, spit it out, and be ready for next year. And there'll be a fire across everybody in that building to get back to that point. And so that this time next year, if I'm with them or whoever y'all have on here, is the questions are like, what did y'all learn from last year's experience to win, you know what I'm saying, this year's Super Bowl or next year's Super Bowl? So I think in all of it, bro, it's bad. It was embarrassing. It's not something that anybody on the planet ever thought was going to happen. But you can use it as a tool to like kind of learn to go into the off season that you know, like people use bulletin board material, whatever, to fire them up, to get them up going. You can use that for next year and come out guns a-blazing, bro.
That's a great point. So I know Andy Reid the best, right? And you just said it right. This ain't gonna linger long. He's the best coach of all time. He's gonna figure a way to get this thing together, right? And he's gonna use it to field his team. But I wanna show a clip because you got real emotional in the game, and I liked it. As I watched the game, I see you crying on the sideline, and I was happy to see it because I'm like, yo, he really cares. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't see no emotion the whole game. So when I seen that, I want you to speak about this because sometimes as players, we never want to show that side of us, right?
Yeah.
What led to this, to the tears, and just talk about it?
I mean, so all of this is like a 2-year kind of deal for me. Like, in my time in Kansas City has been amazing. I appreciate Coach Reid, Veach. Those two are, all y'all know, bro, that the NFL can be grimy. The NFL can be a bunch of say one thing and then they turn around and tell you another thing. And I will 100% say that Coach Reid and Veach have been very honest, very straightforward, very real. So I put my all into trying to be the best I can for this organization with the strip sacks, with the big plays, whatever the case may be. And how last year played in the AFC Championship game, got the strip sack, the whole 9, and then the next play, tear your ACL. Not playing the Super Bowl. You win a Super Bowl ring, but like all y'all played, bro. Like, it's not the same when you're not playing.
That's true.
So then to come through all the rehab, bro, come back, help the team again, get to the Super Bowl, and in that Super Bowl, you getting whooped like that, like, it was like a mixture of anger and a mixture of like, bro, like, how do I make the Super Bowl and not win? Because playing and then winning is a different fulfillment than just being on the sideline. I'm limping, my right knee can't extend all the way, but you get a ring and like, oh, you're a Super Bowl champ. Like, I am, but a competitor is gonna be like, bro, I want to be out there playing and doing whatever I can to win and get the ring. So that's what it was for me, just a full kind of just looking at like, and I also, like I was saying, like, I may not even be back with the Chiefs. So who's to say that I ever get another chance to play on that stage again? You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like, I've gotten very accustomed to, all I know is conference championships and then Super Bowl for the last 4 years. So however things shake, you just never know. And I'm going to year 7 and like, I want to continue to be on that type of trajectory. It's like going to these big games. And so it was hard for me to be in that space, us losing that bad, reality setting in of like what a real possibility could be.
See, yo, let me ask you one more, big dog. Let me ask you one more. Defensive ends, they go up against tight ends. I was with you this offseason in Dallas. You was rehabbing from your ACL injury. I saw all the work you had to do in the offseason just to get back. Well, the notable tight end for the Chiefs, who you know incredibly well in Travis Kelce. You see him every day in training camp, every day in OTAs, every day in practice. He's contemplating retirement. What do you think Kelce should do? How much left in the tank do you think Travis Kelce has? Because you know better than anybody watching this show and us sitting at the desk.
Yeah, I mean, this would be like my message to Trav. Big dog, like, we whole organization, we can't go out like that, you know? Like, he's a Hall of Famer from the moment he says I'm done, right? So, but I think Trav has a lot left. I think Trav is an extreme competitor. I think he's somebody that loves the game. And I think in the storied career that he's had, going out like that, in my opinion, wouldn't be something that he would do. So I believe that he'll be back. I believe that he'll give it one more go. We have guys coming back on that team, you know, that Rashid's going to be back. So that's going to help out the offense. And I think it's the whatever holes that the team has, Coach Reid and Brent do a great job of, like, you know, getting on top of it real quick. They're not going to overlook anything that may have been a reason why we didn't come out on top. So it's going to be a retool, refuel, and get back to it. And we have Pat. So you know for a fact that you're going to be in the dance. You know for a fact that you're going to be in the dance.
That's facts.
So, like, it's like, all right, like, he's not coming back to, maybe we might get to the, like, you know for a fact, like, they're going to be in there. And probably for a fact that you're going to be in that championship game. So,
You got Pat. I just want
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so.
Because you said you got Pat. I just want to, like, on the defensive side, because offense, we feel the same way. For defense, when you got a player like Pat, do y'all think that, like, yo, we always got a shot because we got Pat?
100%. When it was 17-0, I was like, this we're still in it. 24-0, we're still in it.
Easy, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he's a great player, bro. He's an extreme competitor. He's somebody that, like, he has that switch in his head. Like, it's always on, but then, you know, there's another switch after on. Like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's so true.
We've all been in that mode where, bro, it's like you feel so unstoppable no matter what space that you're in. So that's how I feel about Pat, and I think that's how everybody feels, and I think Trav feels that way. So I think he's going to have a lot of motivating factors as to why he wants to come back, and I wouldn't be surprised that he does.
Do you remember we went to dinner before the game, and you told me what the Chiefs was going to do? You was going to stop the run, you was going to double A.J. Brown, and Smitty, you're like, Smitty has to win. And I looked at you, and I said, well, what happens if he does? And you kind of gave me a look like, well, we're probably going to lose. Are you surprised with how well Jalen Hurts played?
I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. He took advantage of what was given to him, and then he obviously used his legs. Jalen's a good player. People try and, you know, make it seem like he's like a average or middle of the pack. Like, these guys, he's good. He's everywhere he's been, he's won. So he's not new to winning or new to executing in big-time moments. He's cool, calm, collected type of guy, and he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't make any big mistakes, and when big plays were presented, he took advantage of them.
Yeah, I want to ask one more, though, because it's good.
It's a good interview.
So I've been arguing with a lot of different people, right, just about, well, two questions, but about the Eagles' offensive line, because Travis, I played with Jason Kelce, too, and they were really, really good, right, last year. And then you add, obviously, Saquon Barkley, who's the best running back in football. But I want to ask you two questions. One is, how did y'all stop that run? Because nobody could do it. It's been big holes the size of Andy Reid, twice Andy Reid, right? And the second thing is, and the second thing is that the best offensive line you ever faced against? Even though y'all shut them down, but watch them on tape, game plan for them. Answer them two questions. I just got to know from my own personal reasons.
I mean, bro, I think the run game is very fundamental. It's a want-to. It's I'm going to be in my gap, and when the ball carrier comes in my gap, I'm going to tackle him. Right. I think a lot of the times people make this thing very, very complex. And I was telling Acho the same thing. I'm like, bro, yes, he's a great player. But if you look at a lot of his run, just in the playoffs, a lot of people just didn't want to tackle him. And a lot of guys were trying to do too much. And Coach Spaz does a great job of putting it, like, in our mind that, like, yo, like, just do your 111, do your job. And then we have a thing called My Job Plus. And if you've done your job and it's available for you to, you know, boom, and then shed and make a play, you can do that. But man your gap, do your job, and be physical. And that's what we did. We tackled them. Guys were square in their gap. And then as far as the offensive line, I think that's the best offensive line in football. I know they have the threat of their quarterback running, but I think individually, that's how I base a good group. It's like if you took them away from where they're at, would they still be who they are if they're on a random team? And I think all 5 of those guys would be just as good as how they are on the Eagles if they're somewhere else. So I think that's the best O-line in football for sure.
Hey, CEO, congrats on a great season, big dog. If y'all need a forced fumble in the playoffs, the person you're looking at is the one to get it.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
come to Philly. Oh, no. He better than Josh Sweat. He better than Josh Sweat.
Go back to KC, man. Go back to KC.
Okay, my bad.
Hey, CEO, enjoy your off season, bro. You need it. You deserve it, bro. We'll talk.
I appreciate y'all.
You know it. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.